Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dockery Docket podcast, the podcast where we're still in a shutdown and it's been a whole month. Why has no one talked about this until right now? Seems a little strange. So, government shutdowns are always fun, right? You get people in the House arguing with each other, you get people in the Senate arguing with each other, Democrats, Republicans fighting with each other, trying to make a deal, and it all just causes a bunch of chaos. And all that different people want in this fight is just for a bill to be passed so then the government can open up again and things can just go back to normal. So usually when there is a government shutdown, there's usually a clear person or a party that is responsible for that certain shutdown. In 2019, Donald Trump famously shut down the government because he wanted money for his border wall. Do you remember when Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi were in the White House and Donald Trump and Chuck Schumer started going at it and Trump said, "I'm gonna shut down the government"? The Democrats used that and ran with it, constantly repeating that this was Donald Trump's shutdown. This is what Donald Trump wanted. This is what Republicans want. This is what they are trying to do. They want to keep the government closed until he gets money for his stupid border wall. The media was relentless, but the interesting thing about this shutdown is that the media has been oddly quiet. I was going to make a video a few weeks ago about how the shutdown has been going on, but nobody's really talking about it, and it seems very strange because usually something like this is top news. Everyone's talking about it, everyone's trying to figure out how to get a deal done, but with this shutdown, things have been oddly quiet until now. This is because I believe that the government shutdown that is happening right now is the Democrats' fault. The media was, of course, defending the Democrats until things started to get a little bit hectic. And things started to progress more than the Democrats probably thought that it was going to progress into. As this government shutdown has broken a record as the longest shutdown ever, the problem is that the government can't fund certain programs or systems like SNAP. So what have the Republicans done to try and open up the government so then people can receive their SNAP benefits? Well, the House has voted on a continuing resolution, and then it moved up to the Senate, where it was voted on 14 different times, and each time, the Democrats have voted no, and every single Republican has voted yes. All that the Republicans need are 5 Democrats to come on over to their side and join them in this fight to fund the government and get these people the benefits that they actually might need. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kyle, don't the Republicans have a majority in the House, the Senate, and they have the presidency? Isn't this all Republicans' fault? I mean, surely the Republicans can pass a bill. That's simple. Now, it is true that the Republicans have the House and the Senate, but in the House, you need a majority of the vote to pass the bill, which the House did. Then it moved on to the Senate, where in the Senate, you need 60 votes to get a bill passed. So the Republicans need to have some Democratic help to pass this bill. So it is the Democrats that are holding this bill up. It is the Democrats that are failing to open up the government. And it is the Democrats' fault that the government is still shut down right now. They've had 14 opportunities to open up the government, but still, they say, nope, we're not going to do it. Nope, we're not going to do it. Nope, we're not going to do it. People can't understand this for some reason, and they are blaming Trump and the Republicans for this government shutdown. They are also blaming Trump and Republicans for cutting SNAP, when once again Republicans have tried tirelessly 14 times to get a bill passed, and now we have a situation where 42 million Americans might go without food. Now, some people might hear this and say 42 million Americans on SNAP, that's terrible. People are going to starve. And other people might look at this and say, holy cow, there are 42 million people on SNAP. How is that even possible in America? Both of these questions are valid. No one wants people in America to go hungry. But if you look at the United States population of around 340 million, that means that 12% of American people are on food stamps. Now, this brings up a lot of questions about the SNAP program in general. Are there people that can work, but they decide not to because the government is giving them free money? Because I know that there are some people who desperately need this funding. There are real people in our society who can't work, who can't get a job because they might have a disability. Or they are retired and they can't actually work because they're physically not able to, so they need these different benefits. But then I also hear stories about people selling their EBT or food stamp cards to different people so then they can get cash and then use the cash to buy whatever they want. Is this whole system broken? Like just this year, people were freaking out because the administration wanted people to not buy junk food or sugary sodas on their SNAP card. And even though the N in SNAP stands for nutritional, people fought for other people's right to buy sugary drinks and junk food on our taxpayer money. The government also wanted to verify if people actually needed these different food stamps. They tried to create an incentive for people to maybe get a job, or maybe do community service, or something like that. And once again, people absolutely freaked out and were like, no, we're not going to do that. We don't want to do that. We want the free money. And the government is trying to make this system work for people that actually need it. The retired, the veterans, the single mothers who can't afford to work, different people that can't actually work who actually need it instead of people that are freeloading off of the system. Because there are different people that might need SNAP for just a few months because they fell on hard times and they just need it for just a little bit, and then once they get back on their feet, they can start working again and they don't need it anymore. And some people, they just continuously, non-stop, keep on getting SNAP for years and years, and it's like, why? What's going on here? What is happening with this program where we're not verifying these people and if they can actually work or not? Because, once again, there are real reasons why people need SNAP. There are real reasons why people need government assistance, and we can help them, but it is disheartening to hear stories about people hurting the system, robbing the system, stealing from the system just because they can. Because in all honesty, I would rather give my money to an old woman who's trying to provide for herself than to give my money to a freeloader who's just sitting on their butt and not doing anything all day. So because people aren't getting their SNAP benefits, people are starting to take things into their own hands, and it may get violent. As there are countless videos of people on TikTok, Instagram, all the social medias, talking about going into different stores and just looting them. As there is supposed to be a big protest on November 3rd, which is the day that I wrote this episode, and right now, as I'm recording this, it's November 4th, and nothing really crazy has happened yet, which is a very good thing. I mean, at least nothing has happened in my part of town. Maybe in your part of town, something has happened. If it has, make sure to leave a comment down below because I would love to hear about it. And if something does come up, I'll definitely let you know. But people are also making videos talking about stealing food from people who just bought groceries from inside the store and are going out to their cars. Because these people are claiming that once you leave the store, then the store can't do anything to help you, which I think is wrong, which I think the store can help you, but just let them believe what they want. And along with that, people are telling people that if they're in a store and they see someone stealing, just let them go. Don't worry about it. Just let them steal stuff. All of these different videos and situations are very concerning because things can definitely escalate into something bigger. If you are stealing the groceries of someone who's walking outside of a store, what if they have a gun? What if they want to defend themselves? What if that person that you're stealing from is also having food problems and they're trying to give it to a food bank? Or they're saying, this is the last I got. I need to make sure to make this last for the whole month. You don't know what that person is doing. You don't know what's wrong with that person, so why would you take their stuff? Also, I believe that the greeters at these different stores are the nicest people in the world. They always say good morning to me and they always say good morning to everyone else. Don't bother them. Some of them are retired. Some of them are military veterans. Some of them are disabled, or they're just trying to have a job to occupy their time. Don't hurt them. They've done nothing to you. Here's the thing. Food insecurity is real, and it's scary, and it's absolutely terrible. But I want people to have a little bit of patience. Now, I know that that is a lot easier said than done. But the last thing that you want is to steal someone's groceries, get arrested, and then you're in prison, and you hear on the news that SNAP is back, and you're going to get money from the government. And if you would have just waited a week, you wouldn't be in jail right now. You would be having your card and you would be able to get groceries that you need. There are plenty of churches that are trying to help provide food to people who are desperately in need. There are also different food banks that are trying to step in for these different SNAP programs. In different situations like this, people find out how important community really is. Churches, shelters, and food banks are going to be working their butts off until Democrats get off their butts and finally vote for a bill that will open up the government. Hopefully nothing crazy will happen, but it's actually really interesting because I get to have a first-hand view of all of this happening because I work at 2 stores. I work at a Meijer and I work at a Kroger, stocking Coca-Cola on shelves, so I get to see it all, and it's very interesting to hear what other people are saying and what's happening in the stores. Right now, things have been a little bit slower in the stores as people don't have the extra money to buy pop or buy other things, which is really unusual because the first of the month is usually one of the craziest times of the month because everyone is getting their SNAP. But nothing has been too concerning. There haven't been any freakouts yet. There haven't been people going crazy or trying to steal food that I've seen so far. And hopefully, I won't need a taser. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket, and I also want to thank you for 6 years of Dockery Docket content. I love you all. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing all my videos. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.